Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, formerly known as Mr. Dragon 000, back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the Toyota Sprinter Trueno GT-APEX. This near replica of the most memed car thanks to the anime Initial D and numerous racing video games featuring this car has made its way to Automation. Building this car with every little attention to detail took over a couple of days to perfect, almost 3 days to be exact. Although there are some accents that I couldn't recreate with this car due to the game's limitations in how fixtures behave, regardless if they're 3D fixtures or regular ones. Anyways, I'll explain how exactly I made this car throughout this portion of the video. It has a lap time of 1 minute 34 seconds 15 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track and 2 minutes 34 seconds 68 milliseconds at the automation track. It has a top speed of 129 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 in 8.59 seconds. This vehicle is powered by Toyota's 4A GEU inline-4 engine that produces 121 horsepower and 105.9 pounds-feet of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 21.1 miles per gallon and weighs 2,176.7 pounds or 987.3 kilograms. And for the market, it's a shocker that it's considered a pony budget car for an i4 engine. It's also considered as a convertible sports budget, fun budget, and a utility budget car in those other three target markets. In terms of how I made the Sprinter Trueno APEX, the panel material will be made out of regular steel with a monocoque chassis made out of galvanized steel. With a front longitudinal engine placement, and the front suspension uses a McPherson strut, and the rear suspension uses a solid axle coil. For the engine, it's an inline-4 engine made out of cast iron with the bore set to 81mm and the stroke at 77mm to get the engine size to 1,587 cubic centimeters or around 1.6 liters, with dual overhead cam 4 valves made out of aluminum. For the crankshaft, it's made out of cast iron with lightweight forged conrods and regular forged pistons. For the compression, it is set at its real-life compression rating of 9.4 to 1 ratio with the cam profile set to a 60. For the fuel system, we're using a multi-point EFI single throttle standard intake running on regular fuel, with the fuel mixture set to a 13.4, the ignition timing bumping up quite a bit to a 58, and the RPM limit set to the real-life redline of 7,400 RPM. For the exhaust, we're using some tubular headers with a single exhaust with the exhaust diameter set to 50.8 millimeters, which equals to 2 inches, with a high flow 3-way catalytic converter, no first muffler, but we do got a reverse flow for the second one. For the drive type, we're using a rear-wheel drive, of course it's the one I use in real life, with a manual 5-speed with the top speed set to 133.3 miles per hour. Even though the estimated top speed is around 130, but the true top speed is 128.6 thanks to the front lips that exist on this vehicle. Even though when we tried this out in BeamNG as they barely, produce like a micro amount of downforce, while automation, it does numbers, but BeamNG, not so much. For the tires, we're using some Radial Sports compound tires with the real-life tire width set to 185mm for the front and back, running on some 14-inch steel rims. For the brakes, we're using a solid disc 2-piston for the front with its size set to 240mm, and for the rear brake, we're using a single shoe drum brake with its size set maxed out to 275mm. For the under tray, nothing much. Semi-clad under tray, as you can see here, there's like really nothing underneath. Brake airflow jumping up just a tad, and for the interior of this vehicle, so we got a 2x2 seats, 2 seats in the front, of course, driver passenger seat, and this back passenger seat where the chassis clips through the seats, which kind of sucks about this. If the chassis weren't existed right here for the back wheels with the back seats and everything, this would have come out a little bit better, but whatever. Interior, standard 8-track. For the safety and everything, we got no power steering, no traction aids, and 1970s standard safety standards. And lastly, for the suspension, fairly basic. Standard springs with gas mounted dampers and passive sway bars, running on a normal preset with the sway bars modified to compensate the oversteer of this vehicle. Despite only a few problems on here, such as the load capacity being too low, power steering issues, and brake fade, let's go to BeamNG.drive and test this memeified vehicle out. So here we are at the modded map of Suzuka Raceway, a map that you need to download off the internet, and taking a brief look at this vehicle. Well, design-wise, hopefully my time was worth it building this vehicle. As we can see at the rear of the vehicle, we got pretty much all the axles on here with the Toyota manufacturer, well, right here, including the Apex Twin Cam 16 on the left side of the vehicle, like you see on the GT-APEX models of either the Sprinter and I think the 11 models. And on the right side, we got the word Trueno with this type of vehicle here. And right below that, even though it's all glassy right here, but I decided to put in the word Sprinter with this type of model of this vehicle of the AE86. And with the rear lights kind of bright up in here, even though the turn signals here, like I mentioned about how the game behaves poorly with this vehicle, is that how boxy this vehicle is. I tried putting these turn signals like off to the side here, but they bend like all over the place, so it wasn't worth it. So I pretty much attached it with the brake lights here and just called it a day. As you can see, they do work up in here. Along with the sides, all this almost perfectly but painstakingly recreated, especially with the bumpers right here, the side of the vehicle, even the front here with the word Trueno, kind of like you see in the back of the vehicle. And also headlights, they do work, but they don't pop up and down like a real pop-up headlight work, but unfortunate, but it'll do for now. And why do I have two ignition keys right here? I'm pretty stupid. I got that ignition key and that ignition key. Well, lesson learned. This is what happens when you overwork yourself for a few days trying to make a car. You put in two ignition switches, ignition key ignitions, to pretty much get a result like that. So here I am, backed up way back here of the final stretch of the start and finish line of this here track, and we're going to be doing some basic performance tests like any other automation to BeamNG vehicle. The first test we're going to be doing is a 0 to 62 acceleration test. Next would be the 62 to 0 brake test. And lastly would be a top speed run, which with this type of vehicle, I am not really sure that I could achieve top speed despite being around 120 horsepower and weighing just over a ton, which this type of engine, it wasn't that powerful for a vehicle like this, so I'm going to have a lot of doubts reaching top speed of this vehicle. So let's get things started here with the acceleration test by starting it right now. Neutral it, not necessarily neutral drop, but going into the first gear to second gear, 37 miles an hour, keep it straight to get a 0 to 62 time in 0 to 62 in 8.71 seconds of 458.56 feet. A tad worse than we got in automation, but let's do the brake test right away. 62 and going on to 61, goddamn game. Okay, 62, brake. Hard on the brakes, we are skidding straight, and there we go. 62 to 0 in 2.97 seconds of 131.99 feet. Well, distance and time-wise seems okay despite having a non-ABS vehicle like this, but I'm gonna cut some slack here and to say that's good enough. So for a top speed run already in effect, we do get a better 0 to 62 in 8.04 seconds of 445.59 feet thanks to a slight neutral drop and going over 100 miles an hour. We'll get that. We're not gonna make it. Look at this. 160 miles an hour into gravel. Let's slow it down here. Camera as is. High DUI. Go. There goes the front left portion of the vehicle, and nothing interesting. No more ricocheting, all that good stuff. Just full time it. And like that, we are in the gravel. Pretty good. And yeah, engine still runs, missing a tire, and it should still go because it's rear-wheel drive. And we got the tire right here, so damage-wise of the vehicle. We got this headlight pushed way back. What's it? Oh my god, light of death up in here. I would say, what's it look like with this light being... it does work, really? I mean, it's pushed back way towards the hood up in here. So the left side of the vehicle is totally messed up. As you can see right here, we've got a freaking, like, equilateral triangle if you kind of draw this out here. And if you check out the interior, as I put myself into the driver's seat and turn around, what would it be like? We got the passenger seat right up in here. If you've been in the United States, a right-hand drive vehicle, you'd be dead. But if you're a left-hand drive vehicle like this guy, you'd be somewhat okay. The interior has collapsed, and yeah, you'll probably be injured, and that'll be it. So now, let's do a time trial run with this vehicle at this here racetrack. Since I can't do a legitimate time trial run because it's not set up at this map here, so I gotta resort by doing a hot lap run at the track here. So I got the start and finish line set up right here, and I'm lined up at the pole position spot of this here grid, and we're doing 2 laps with this here vehicle. Hopefully we can make things even more interesting by doing some drifts, taking them in the frickin' initial D anime and make things worse upon myself. itself. So let's get things started here at this time trial. 3, 2, 1, go. Neutral drop, and time is going off. Okay, we got the time going off, and let's just do it automatically. Do arcade mode. If things go out to be worse, then I'll control it manually. Coming up into our first corner, let's see, we got, some minor oversteer, kind of like what we've seen in automation. If I'd have kept and we got it's doing okay. I thought we got some understeer, but we're doing okay. I was say, like, how I got it in automation, if I kept these sway bars as is, it said there'll be oversteer with this vehicle. Like, the sportiness factor would be at, like, 94.8%, 95%, right around that range, I believe. If I would use the sports tires at the front sway bar, like, stiffness at 1,400, like, kilograms per millimeters, something like that is how I measure stiffness in the game. So despite the front sway bars being stiff, we got a good amount of handling. I kind of like it so far, despite being a yay bit of a sports car. So brake here, minor lockiness, 60 mile an hour, not too bad. How about this corner? Let's do a mild braking, 60, and dive. A little bit timid on that corner, but it ain't that bad. I guess my 2.5, 3 days of work has come out to be great. How about this hairpin? Hard on the brakes, and again, and cut in, go a slow and fast out method, and we're kind of exceeding track limits, and tight onto that little curb right there in that corner. And if I were to use like the other tires, like medium compounds, hard, long life, then yeah, the game calculated severe oversteer. Like the little handling graph was pointed straight up in the air, saying that you got major oversteer with this vehicle. How about this corner? I kind of screw up this corner. Let's see, 60-ish, moderate understeer because we're steering too hard, and 60-ish. Moderate understeer. I'm keep mixing it up for some odd reason, and still doing okay. 60-ish miles an hour, and I forgot. Let's put out the little Geforce counter. I forgot. I want to see exactly how this vehicle. Are you kidding me? The damn lap is gone. It better work this time around. I swear. I gotta restart this again because I hit pause and put on the little Geforce thingy right here. Let's see, Geforce. Way too hard right there, and exceeding track limits. If this had been in Formula 1, an FIA race, then I would get a little warning right there. And hopefully I don't screw up at this little chicane up ahead. Okay. Way too hard. I swear. Do I have to redo this again? It says start hot lapping. I swear. Cross start and finish line. And I gotta redo it again. God damn it. Alright, let's hopefully I don't screw up this little bend here again. Let's see. We got the bend. Brake. Let's do 90, 80 miles an hour. Perfect. And just up ahead at the chicane, I put up a freaking shipping container. So it's brake right here. Brake. Hard on the brakes. Hard on the brakes. One more to go. And it's going to be this guy right here. So perfect. That is our chicane. That is what we got to use. And go on with the rest of this here lap. And coming up to the start and finish line, our first lap at the pole position grid space is a something. Are you kidding me? The first lap didn't even stop. Like, what is going on here, folks? It says we got a first lap time of 3 minutes, 18 seconds and counting. We should be on our second lap. Is it because I spawned in the shipping container with the hot lap system in place or what? So nothing else interesting has happened throughout the time trial as I early shifted things to be panic upshifting because of me redlining, and the time on the top of your screen with the hot lap timer still hasn't changed. So for our quote-unquote second lap time, we should be in the 6-minute mark. So 6 minutes and... oh, wait. Okay. 2 minutes, 56 seconds, 609 milliseconds, and what is going on here? Like, what is going on here? We got like a 2:59 or something like that, but... weird. What if I stop the timer? It keeps going for some odd reason. This thing's broke. And hot lap. Mom? Help me? What's going on here, man? So the hot lap feature is broken, unfortunately, so let's just rightfully ignore that. So while we're at it, just a what if. Let's see if this car could do a frickin' drift. Let's do, we could do 3 laps of this here course. With this here AE86, so take it to the noon hours of this here racetrack right now. So here I am at the start and finish line of the drift circuit, and we got two straight arrows that are like right in between the vehicle here telling me to go straight, and we are over the start and finish line like right in between the checkered flag marking on the freaking concrete. So nothing else to complain about this vehicle, but having doubts that this vehicle will swing left and right to do some drifts like we're at freaking initial D and doing some tow runs and all that good stuff, doing some tofu and everything in general. So let's get things started here by starting us off at 3, 2, 1, launch, go. And why did that beep again? And also, MPG counter, who cares? Swing. I gotta do this that was my side view mirror. So let's just do this manually. Swing. Too much on the goddamn e-brake. I mean, this is all for fun, right? Alright, come on. Just this here drift. Just this once. Is this the best, like, I mean, I got, like, no oversteering, no drift setup. I mean, this is more of a waste of time than actually getting some good results out of this. How about this corner again? Swing. Go. 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 God damn it, we corrected ourselves yet again. How about here? No throttle control, just that. Look at that. Perfect line, perfect cursive, just with, what, the left side of the vehicle doing some perfect cursive? God damn it, I think my times with the Miata all-wheel drive frickin' drift Miata was probably my better times drifting a vehicle. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. It's a rear-wheel drive converted all-wheel drive MX-5 Miata. I think it's the ND platform converted to do some drifts with a 2JZ engine. And let's see, try it again. Should have downshifted and we couldn't get any momentum going. Alright, right here. Damn it. I mean, we lose a lot of power as I slide the car. Watch this. Second gear, first. Too much swing. Too much stuff, too much sugar. Die of the good life. Hashtag firewater ice cube. I don't know why I brought him up. God damn it. So, we're gonna get a total time as I do this in reverse at a speed of 36 miles an hour of a 50 seconds or whatever. Total time, 2 minutes, 45 seconds, 795 milliseconds. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a legit drift with this vehicle because of the lack of power, too much grip, and pretty much everything in general that makes this a non-drifting vehicle, more of a everyday cornering vehicle. So free roam, everything as is, in the back of the wall. Nice. So doing that, smashing at 35-ish miles an hour, we screwed the back end pretty good that the lights all work from the brake lights, reverse lights, and turn signals. And we do get the manufacturer of a Toyota competitor called the Toya. Yeah, Toya. So other than that, rear is pretty much smashing pretty good, almost at DeLorean level, and everything else with this vehicle. Not a whole lot of damage, but we do got the left mirror missing because of my mishap of trying to drift the vehicle. So right now, let's take this on over to Brutal Slope to see if this here Trueno will play it out like Initial D and every single Need for Speed, Forza, and insert this racing game to be like its true self. So take it there right now. So here I am parked at the top of the hill here, facing down the bottom of the ramp and the entirety of the ramp. So let's get things started by skateboarding from the top of the hill down to the top of the ramp to get ourselves down to the bottom and launch ourselves at a very high speed. And not only that, a 0 to 63, technically 62 at 4.46 seconds of 189.57 feet. Over rev risk right now, 170. Still over revving pretty hard. We're pretty much at VTEC levels. It's going to blow up at a speed of exactly 200 miles an hour. I think 201. Engine is dead. Engine is broken. Engine locked up. Valve train is down. Oh my god, we got some drag issues up in here. Aerodynamic issues. 220 at the bottom. 187, 186 at the top of the ramp. Engine is starved of oil. We are... the engine's dead up in here, so let's brake right here and... oh boy, we gotta get a roof crash up in here. Never seen this before. It's all the power of just slamming on the brakes while you got momentum in the tires, and the brakes will pretty much do its work. So slow it down to 60 times high DUI, see where it's going, and then 100 times slow-mo, get a better camera going, and here we go. Front of the vehicle, the pop-up headlights just shut off, retracted, and there goes the two of the tires right up here. The other tires are gonna follow suit. We got that tire following suit. How about this guy? We got this tire. Is probably gonna stay alive, stay apart, stay attached. Who knows about that? So 60 times, are they gonna stay attached? And yeah, oh, that tire's staying attached too, and some of the fixtures are kind of flying off. We got the license plate, the both of the tires, and surprisingly the rest of the 3D fixtures haven't like exploded all over the place. So regular cam and full time. And here we go, flat as a damn piece of paper, pancake, whatever you could say it, but Oh man! So the car has flattened out big time. Like, what is this? Like a GTA 1 or 2 car where you got a top-down view of something like this? Like, boy, this is like an interesting crash that I've ever seen in quite a long time up in here. And if you were to be a driver or passenger's vehicle, oh, dude, you would be dead. Period. No ands, ifs, or buts, you'd be dead. And that's a fact. Alright, so for the last part of the video, let's skateboard at the top of the hill again and crash yourselves at a little wedge thingy, which is basically a square block where you get yourselves wedged. You get an interesting wedge-shaped look at your vehicle when you crash it at a very high speed. So over rev risk yet again, and I swear, let's keep this straight as possible so the engine will explode now. 200 exactly, so the vehicle... Oh, man, okay, this vehicle is starting to drift a little bit to the left and right because of the lack of aerodynamics of this vehicle, and 242 miles an hour. I'm thinking 243 upon impact. So, like always, 16 times slow-mo once you get close, 100 times, let's do 100 times slow-mo. So go 100 times slow-mo, see the car, running itself down, let's see, at a speed of 242 miles an hour upon impact. So here is the vehicle, gonna be smashed in, gonna be angling downwards, and whoops, and it's angled downwards, and here is the vehicle. So 16 times slow-mo. Anything else gonna happen to this vehicle? Anything more strangely? No, just it backing up pretty good, and full time. And here we are with this vehicle. The license plate has fallen down. With this vehicle, more banginess sounds, and we got the rear tire spinning, so what happens when we brake? It stops, so that's good. Brakes work, and this vehicle, hella destroyed. So take it to the bottom of the hill here to get the aftermath of Destruction's vehicle to see what this here looks like. So already, we got a loose polygon of what appears to be, what, the engine drive shaft or something up in here? I can't even see. But whatever, we got this here protruding pretty good up in here. Looks like a good 10 feet that appears to be a part of the engine or something. I don't know what this is. Everything else with this vehicle that is bouncing along, which I think is the tire or the suspension or the body of the vehicle. So everything else about this vehicle, backside, you can see pretty mangled up. The sides, yes, that's mangled up. That side, yeah, that's mangled up. The front, totally mangled up, which that is pretty much it with this vehicle. Totally mangled up and doesn't live on to the initial D memes. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the Toyota Sprinter Trueno GT-APEX. Building this car for almost 3 days, like man hours, like man days, this car was pretty much worth it from the ground up. From putting on the 3D assets, mostly 2D and 3D assets to pretty much look like the actual Trueno, this pays out pretty well from all the designs, the attention to detail, like this here muffler and exhaust pipe, the Apex Twin Cam 16 Trueno, and the Sprinter right here, and pretty much with the rest of the vehicle in general. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. And also check out my social media down in the description below. So this is TRIZE rising up and signing out.